Breaking news. Canelo has just had his application approved to move up to Cruiserweight, 200 pounds, and face the WBC champion Illunga Makabu for his WBC Cruiserweight championship. This has come from absolutely nowhere, completely far left. No one could have seen this coming. No one could have expected it. And Illunga Makabu must be counting his lucky stars right now. It must be the closest feeling to winning the lottery. It really must be. For him to have not even had Canelo on his radar, obviously, someone who was fighting at super middleweight, to be given this opportunity out of absolutely nowhere, this super payday for him, he must be counting his absolute blessings right now. So it's scheduled, or it's touted to take place around Cinco de Mayo, so in May 2022, the closest date to Cinco de Mayo, whatever sort of Saturday that will be. And look, man, people are saying that Makabu as a cruiserweight has a chance, obviously, because he's going to be naturally a big puncher. He's naturally going to have a super size advantage over Canelo. But in reality, he's shorter than Callum Smith. He is quite stocky, but he is quite, in terms of his dimensions, he's not very tall for a cruiserweight. He hasn't got a long reach. So the sort of natural advantages that he should have over Canelo, they're not going to be as great as some of the other opponents that Canelo's already faced. So I don't see any sort of real troubles there. The power perhaps is going to be a bit of an issue, but in fairness, Canelo is, slick enough, I would say, to be able to avoid Makabu's punches for the most part. And in reality, we've seen Makabu get stopped before by Tony Bellew. Aside from that particular fight, he has shown a decent chin, but the level of opposition that he's faced isn't the greatest. And I'd actually still probably put Canelo as favourite for this fight. Just reading online, I've seen a couple of tweets that are suggesting that Makabu would probably take a dive in any event, or maybe try and box on the back foot. And not really go for it, not impose his size, and basically the fight won't look like a 200-pound fighter trying to fight and bully the smaller man. So there's a lot of sort of conspiracy theories around that. I'm not sure what to make of it. In any event, I'd put Canelo as favourite anyways, whether Canelo boxes on a back foot to avoid the big puncher and the bigger man, or he's got a good enough defense when moving forward to avoid Makabu's shots and still chop down the body. I think he could probably get stoppage that way if he wanted to. And although it on paper, obviously it's a big challenge, and in reality it is a big challenge in fairness to Canelo. He's still moving up to cruiserweight, which will be his fifth division if he was to win a championship, his fifth weight class. What I would say is that this fight, Makabu at cruiserweight for Canelo, is an easier fight than if he moved up to light heavy to fight Beterbiev, which is really, for me, that is the legacy fight. If he were to move up, he's already got his legacy sewn up. He's stamped his mark, obviously, in boxing. He'll go down certainly as the greatest in this era after Mayweather, and potentially one of the greatest of all time. I'd probably put him in maybe top 25 at the moment, top 20. That might be a bit harsh, but I think he's still got some work to do to be in those conversations. But in reality, if he were to move up to 175 light heavyweight and beat Beterbiev, who obviously Olympic pedigree, who's a bigger man, a super puncher, but also a technically sound boxer as well, that a win over Beterbiev in my mind is certainly it's definitely a better win than a victory over cruiserweight WBC champ Illunga Makabu. But nonetheless, there's two ways you can look at it. You can say, well, Canelo's already been some form of champion at light heavyweight. He's just, skipping that division to go and face a cruiserweight champ. So, give him some credit. But at the same time, we'd say, well, is Makabu the best cruiserweight champ out there? No, certainly not. I'd say Breeders probably is. And a win over Breeders, that would be an incredible win. And in fairness, I'd probably make Canelo favourite in that fight. Maybe a slim margin, slim favourite, but maybe so. I mean, you'd say a Coley probably punches a little bit harder than Makabu. And obviously the size advantage there would be extremely big over Canelo, but I'd probably still make Canelo favourite in that fight just because of the sort of technical difference, if you like. But, going up to cruiserweight in any event to face any champion, I still give him credit. And Makabu, at the end of the day, is still a big puncher. So, I still give Canelo credit if he was to take that fight and win the fight. And obviously, as a Mexican, he's got ties with, or closer ties, if you like, with WBC than most other governing bodies. That sort of heritage that they have with Mexican champions, Mexican organisation. So obviously, a fight for the WBC belt is probably more enticing to him than some of the other belts. So the fact that Makabu is the WBC champion, for him, is probably just sort of luck, right place, right time, right belt that he's holding, basically. But yeah, Canelo should win that fight in reality, and I'm still going to give him credit. Okay, it's not Beterbiev at light heavyweight, but it's still a cruiserweight champ. Not the best cruiserweight champ, because Breeders probably is, but it's still a cruiserweight champ, so fair enough if he was to get that on his scalp. Big respect to Canelo for that. And what do you think Canelo will do afterwards? Put that, drop that in the comments. What are your thoughts? What do you think Canelo will do once he wins, or if he wins this cruiserweight championship? Do you think that he will stay at cruiserweight and try and defend or unify like he's done at super middleweight? I'm not so sure. I think he might actually move up to heavyweight. I really think he might. Obviously, he won't weigh, sort of 230 or 240, or put on the crazy amount of weight to be comparable to some of the bigger guys. He'll probably just sort of clock in at around 200 pounds, and that's it really. But I could see him moving up to heavyweight. Let's say the belts get scattered and there's some sort of lower level champions, or even one of the sort of regular belts. It might be, I think Trevor Bryan's a WBA regular, or Manuel Char, however they've split it at the moment. So one of those sort of guys. I can't, obviously not the Tyson Furies or even the Usyks or Joshua's, of course not. But you'd think in about 12 months, maybe 18 months, probably 12 months, the belts will probably be scattered if there isn't a unification fight. There'll be various champions at, different sort of levels, if you like. And you'd certainly, I could see Canelo, sort of plucking one of the sort of regular champions, if it is a Trevor Bryan or Manuel Char, that sort of level opposition where, all right, he's a smaller man, but probably you could sort of fathom him still winning a fight in the same way that Roy Jones moved up to heavyweight and, beat John Ruiz. So, that's probably what I see Canelo doing after this cruiserweight fight. But what are your thoughts? Leave it in the comment box. Let me know what you think. Firstly, is this too big of a jump? Canelo moving up to cruiserweight. Can you see him winning this championship? And if he does, what do you think he'll do next? Or what should he do next? Should he stay at cruiserweight? Should he move up to heavyweight and challenge some of the bigger boys and become a 6-weight world champion? Just crazy stuff, crazy news. But Illunga Makabu, count your lucky stars, man. Count your lucky stars. You've just won the lottery. But yeah, that's all from me. This is Para Mi Boxing. And make sure you like, subscribe and comment on the video.